مولانا العظيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا وشفينا وحبيبنا وطبيبنا ومولانا محمد معدن الجود والكرم وآله وبارك وسلم وصلي عليه. Qibla Sheikh Sahib, or my dear elder brothers and younger brothers and children, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us with many gifts, and amongst those many gifts, a gift that we can physically hold in our hands, read with our tongues, and reflect upon is certainly this great gift, the Majestic Quran. And this was the book that actually changed the tide of human history. This is the book that actually changed and revolutionized human thinking. Now some of you will say, well, obviously you would say that, wouldn't you? You live off this book. This is, you believe in it, and this is your, this book is what feeds you, okay? Therefore, you're bound to say that. Yes, that's true. It is. It's a book that I live off. However, modern historians of science believe that, and actually this is almost now a non-negotiable, and there is no difference in the opinion that it was the Muslims who actually laid the foundations of modern science. There was the Greek science and the Roman science and philosophy, but modern science is something very unique, and it is you can call them blessings or curses of modern science and technology that we see around us. Actually, it was the modern science that actually changed our medicine and our understanding of the universe and how it works. But who laid the foundations of it? It wasn't the Greek, because Greeks were famous for their philosophy. The Greeks believed in a lot of mythology, superstitions. They were not really true observers. They were not really true scientists. They were not scientists. Scientists are those who actually observe and those who measure and who use their senses to look at the world, examine it, explore it, understand it, and then from that infer certain theories, and from those they're able to actually derive huge benefits. But it all begins with observation, using the senses. And the book that actually laid the foundations of that kind of thinking, that kind of science, was the Majestic Quran. Seriously, this is the book that actually changed. And it's very interesting because the Arabs, the Makkans, and the people in Hijaz were actually Bedouins, illiterate people who actually were the most backward people. Certainly in the Middle East, they were the most backward people. And they had no real civilization, no real architecture. Okay? They were Bedouins, nomads, really. This is why the Persians were not interested in them. The Romans didn't pay attention to them either, because there was nothing to occupy. There was nothing to take from them. So, but these are the people who were changed. But what changed them? This book. Wallah, it was this book that changed them. How did it change them? It changed them from the inside. It changed them to become thinkers, reflectors, people who became observers. Who did muraqabah? You know what muraqabah means? Actually, muraqabah means to focus and concentrate. Okay, and this is one of the signs of if you want to see who's the most intelligent person and what makes intelligent people successful, is actually their power of focus. I've had the privilege of working with several people from Oxford, from Cambridge, and geniuses. And what I noticed was they were people who were actually focused on the task. Whatever task they were given, they gave their 100% to it. They really focused. And this is what perhaps the Quran means when it says, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ. The believers are successful, those who are khashir, Khashi, means they are very humble, fearful, but the real meaning behind it actually is they're so focused. They are just concentrating. Okay, they're fully focused. And, it's not out of focus. Like your camera hopefully is on focus. It is focused. Okay, they really are focused. And when something is like that, you see your target, you see your goal, you know where you are going, you can achieve it. So this is the book that actually transformed it. The Quran is actually one of the greatest pieces of literature in the world. There is nothing better than this. This is my own sort of description of the Quran I wrote as a sort of a blurb here. The Quran is a divine revelation, a blend of beliefs, practical advice, moving sermons, vivid descriptions of the delights of paradise, the terrifying punishments of hell, and fascinating ancient stories teaching moral and spiritual lessons. Simply an effective program for personal, spiritual development. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the recipient of this divine revelation and the lead character presented as the perfect man, the role model for humanity. The infallible speech of Allah is a literary masterpiece of breathtaking beauty revealed by the loving Lord in an authoritative yet gentle poetic Arabic. This refreshing translation of mine, inshallah, tries to bring out something of that, and you can say I'm making a claim. Yes, it is a claim, which has to be substantiated and to be given proof. And really, what makes any speech worth listening to and attractive are three things. First, it's got to be natural. It's got to be clear, and it's got to have emotion and feelings in it. And tell me, if you were to do word-to-word translation of the Quran and follow the Arabic word order, verb, object, subject, your English translation of it would would not be clear. It would sound very unnatural, and it would be unclear, and it will have no emotions attached to it. And therefore, you cannot achieve what the Quran wants to achieve. The Quran wants to impact your feelings and emotions. It wants to move you. It wants to touch your mind, and it wants to touch your heart, and it wants to change you. How can you do that without the feelings in it? I'm not claiming that I've achieved those goals. I'll leave that